Hi guys, I just want to take a moment and share with you my Plexus health story. It starts about a year ago this past September, and I suffered adrenal fatigue. I went from feeling healthy and fine and full of energy to feeling very sick very suddenly. I can remember the day that I started feeling sick. It started out just feeling really dizzy, and over the course of that first day the dizziness got very bad. I was spending the whole day on the couch, and so over the next few days and weeks the dizziness really intensified to the point where I would have to lay on the floor. I would have near fainting spells. I started having heart palpitations, and I was very fatigued all the time. I'd spend most of the day on the couch, and if I wasn't on the couch, I just would walk around the house with my eyes closed. I was so tired. I then started to have anxiety attacks, which really frustrated me. My heart would race. I would feel like I couldn't breathe, and I would just have a horrible, ominous feeling that something was really wrong with me and something really bad was going to happen. And that frustrated me because I knew it was so irrational and it wasn't who I was, but I couldn't stop it and I couldn't figure out what was triggering it, and it was just something that I would have every few days, and then pretty soon I was having them every day, and then sometimes I was having them multiple times a day. So that was not a fun experience at all. I started having some mental thinking problems. I got very forgetful. Things like the days of the week, I would really have to think hard to remember what day of the week it was. Or in homeschooling my children, they would ask me a simple addition problem, and I had to really focus and think, now how do you add? And I remember at least 2 different times reading to my younger children and starting to struggle as I was reading and just having to close the book and say, okay, that's enough for now. Because it was like I had forgotten how to read. It just really suddenly became very hard to read. I was having spells with confusion, especially if I was out and about, like in the grocery store. I just would think, what am I supposed to do next? Or it was just a little bit confused in circumstances that were outside of my normal daily life. And I had a very hard time concentrating, whether it was holding a conversation with somebody or just driving down the road. Just seemed like it took every shred of my concentration just to remember how to drive down the road. So those mental problems especially concerned me. I thought, I have a brain tumor, or I have a brain aneurysm, or there's something horribly wrong with me. Of course, that just feeds that whole cycle of anxiety and makes it worse. It's just a vicious cycle. And so I started really researching and looking into what was going on. These symptoms all seemed so unrelated, and I learned about adrenal fatigue, and there was relief with that, realizing that these random symptoms really did go with a condition, and that my body was horribly out of balance. So I started to implement some things that I learned online of how to nourish the adrenals and how to nourish the thyroid. I took all the caffeine out of my diet and all the sugar out of my diet and tried many natural and herbal supplements. And I did get some relief from those things. The severity and the frequency of the attacks did seem like they got better. But I was dizzy all the time. The dizziness never went away. It was 24 hours a day for 7 months straight. So that was just something I thought, well, I'll just have to get used to it. And then I read Lorraine's story on Facebook. And she had suffered adrenal fatigue too, and she had tried Plexus, and it had helped her. And I thought, you know what, that's great. I'll try it. It's another thing I can check off the list that I've tried. I'll get my money back after 60 days. I didn't think that it would help any more than anything else that I was already trying. So I ordered, and I started the Slim the first week very skeptically. But I noticed that first week that I wasn't as tired, and I was sleeping better at night. I'd been having sleeping problems. I would feel like I was floating off my bed, or I'd wake up violently shaking head to toe, and none of that was happening. I was sleeping very well. And so the next week I added in the Bio Cleanse, and a few days after that I added in ProBio 5. And within the first month for sure, I'm not sure of the exact timetable of what happened on what week, but within the first month for sure, all of the symptoms that I had been suffering from were gone. The dizziness was gone, the fainting spells were gone, the heart palpitations were gone. I had no anxiety attacks. My mind was clear and sharp. I had very photosensitive eyes. I felt like I needed to wear sunglasses even in the house. That was gone. And the headaches I was having were gone. I was sleeping great. I was full of energy. And I was very thankful. Needless to say, I didn't get my money back after 60 days, but I continued on, and I continued to research and figure out why these products were helping me and doing what they were doing. And it's just all about balance. It's just about balancing out your blood sugar and healing your gut and just really improving that core health, and it affects so much in your body. And so some of the other things that I've noticed that have improved, you kind of just have these aha moments along the way that you think, oh, I don't suffer with that anymore. And so one of those is my low blood sugar, which I've suffered with every single day since my teens. I would have blood sugar crashes between breakfast and lunch every day. I always had to have food and candy with me. I've not had one blood sugar crash since I took that first Slim. And that is huge to me, and that is worth every penny right there to me. And that up and down spiking of your blood sugar is what can mess up your hormones and stress out your adrenals. And so I'm sure that was causing me harm for many, many years. I always had low blood pressure, and that's up to a healthy level now. I have varicose veins from my pregnancies that are completely painless now. Sugar cravings that I were having, like hide in the closet and shove chocolate chips in your mouth kind of cravings, are gone, thankfully. I have short, painless cycles every month. Sleep disturbances that I was having, I never really suffered from insomnia, but I would wake up frequently, and I walked in my sleep and talked in my sleep at least once a week. All that's gone. I'm getting really good sound sleep, ready to get up in the morning and take on the day, not falling into bed exhausted at night. My night vision, which I never even drove at night before, it's completely improved, no trouble driving at night. And another big thing is I just feel like I have the ability to cope with stress so much easier than I ever have in years and years. And so it's helped me in so many ways, and I would definitely not want to be without my Plexus Triplex.